recording now, and then David, it's, Kim needs to get us started, and then here we go. Here, we're now recording.
Recording in progress.
Then Christine, we're gonna call the meeting to order at 12:02. And there's Dan. Your shoes on, Dan?
Got it.
Good job. Christina, can you hear us? Thank you.
Yes, I got it.
All righty, thank you. I need introduction of board members. Bill, want to go ahead and introduce yourself, please?
Bill Biederman with Middlebury.
Kim Farnham, chairperson from the Mount Abraham School District, live in New Haven. Nicole?
Nicole McTavish, superintendent and director.
Christina?
Christina Macklin, Addison Northwest School District rep.
Wendy?
Wendy Pratt, Assistant Director, Career Center.
Laura?
Laura Harthan, ACSD member, live in Middlebury.
Steve Orzik?
Steve Orzek, Middlebury, ACSD, and vice chair.
Dave?
And
David
Ron Bignall, Northwest Addison at large.
David?
David Roberts, Director of Operations.
And I believe Judd has just joined us. Judd, would you introduce yourself, please?
Yes, Judd Markowski, resident of Bridgeport and WIB member.
Thank you. I need a motion to approve this agenda. Either raise your hand or say aye
So
to help us.
Second.
Okay, so Bill has made the motion, Christina, and Judd seconded it. Thank you. Any public comments regarding the agenda? Seeing none on the screen or in the room. So I'm going to ask David to have a conversation about the action agenda. You should have received a link with some information if you want to refer to that now and collect your questions for after David's done. Go ahead, David.
and I should be sharing that. Are all of you seeing that?
Yes, thank you.
So very exciting opportunity and a little forward thinking, I will say. We received an opportunity to put in an application for a forestry economy grant. We put in a pre-application and then they invited us to put an application in. This is with the Northern Borders Regional Commission, which is a government agency that manages, it's very similar to our Addison County Economic Development Corp kind of structure. So we need a resolution to submit the application. The resolution that I'm asking for you guys to approve does not commit us to any financing or anything. It's just saying you guys are giving us permission to submit the application. So let me stop there. What I want to do is kind of go through the project, but I just wanted to stop there to see if there was anybody else that had any questions before I moved on.
Steve Orzik's hands up.
Yeah, you said that this resolution is not going to commit us to any money, but if we get the grant, do we have to provide any matching funds or anything like that?
Yes, so that's what I'm going to chat about.
Okay.
Right as we go along here. And just FYI, for some reason I can't see you guys. I'm just seeing my screen. So just yell out if you need me to stop or if you have a question. So the project overview, the grant is a 50% match and it's up to $1 million. So what we are proposing is to build a new building at North Campus called the Natural Resource Management Innovation Hub or Center. And that would allow natural resource management and intro to ag to move to the North Campus facility. And it would also allow the sustainable ag program, which is already at North Campus, to move to the first floor, and it would relieve us from having to build an elevator in that building. So obviously this is a bit of a dream big, and we're not sure how we would do this, but I think kind of makes sense for us to try and to put our name out there. What I'm saying is that the project it helps us address the undersized facility at main campus, and I think we will be under pressure if we're opening in an electrical or plumbing program, etc. And it also creates a hub where we can have industry meetings, adult ed classes, industry certification programs, etc. The timeline would be fall and winter of next year, we would permit. We would probably and figure out financing with a build out in 2028 with operational in fall of 2028. We think that the building could look something like that. Because we have to submit plans or some kind of plan, we've had EEI, which is our project manager, help us develop some of this. So if top right corner, this is North Campus, this is the barn, which is on the bottom right. Yeah, you can see my mouse, my big green mouse. And then this would be the new building. Here would be a lab and a classroom, restrooms, an atrium, and then a classroom sustainable ag. There's lots of different options because these are this is a cheaper version. This is the more expensive version, if you will, all expensive. And yeah, so let me just stop sharing so I can see you guys, and we'll open it up for questions.
Bill has a question.
David, what was the number on the elevator itself?
495,000.
Okay.
And then 130 to build a classroom upstairs for Aaron. So the other option would be for us to build a classroom there. And just to do that and to put the elevator was 630, 625. And then it doesn't leave Aaron with a lab. So we would then have to build some kind of metal structure with a concrete slab out in the building.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Dan, did you have a question?
Yes. So, all in, what are those two buildings you think gonna cost? The plans, it look pretty nice. I have to say that's a nice rendering, and this would be right there. You're going to start to have a campus there with the barn, the building, and the addition. So all in, what does that building look like it was going to cost?
Well, I think right now the building, well, let me just preface it by saying what we turn in on the grant is not what we're going to build. We're doing kind of a projection and a little bit of a, ideas versus, and they're not going to hold us to the exact, I mean, we're going to get the money if we're using it for the right purposes, they're going to approve it, but we can do something cheaper. This first one is a 5,640 square foot building. So we're looking at $2.5 million.
Really, for the whole thing? Wow. Okay.
Or more if you're adding in fixtures and equipment. And there's the idea in the grant, there's an idea of creating an outdoor lab classroom where you have poles for students to climb and a sawmill for training and, wood piles and all that kind of stuff. And then bridges, like Aaron has ideas, like you can build permanent structures that that they learn about water management and land management, berms and those kind of things. So, and it could also be used for adult ed. That's a part of this, doing a larger adult ed and pushing certifications. There's forestry certifications and all kinds of things. So $2.5–3 million. Yes. And that does not include, by the way, the other, let's call it 1 million, if we don't do the elevator, of stuff that we need to do at North Campus, the existing building. So,
Right, the maintenance, the
yeah,
water heater, all that. So, okay. So
yeah.
is there a way to stage this building so that we can, I think you want to do a bond for the whole thing, or at least want to propose it. Is there a backstop that we could do if we got this grant for $1 million? Is there something we could do for $1 million?
Well, we have to match, so it'd have to be 2 million. And we would have to just,
50%. Oh,
yeah,
okay,
it's
sorry.
50%. So if we got it, we would have until 2029 to figure it out and build the building. So we have a runway, and we wouldn't find out until end of this year, beginning of next year. So we've got a year of planning or deciding, or maybe, education transformation comes along and we know this is a good idea or a bad idea, et cetera. So, I'm not saying that this is the right path forward, but I am saying that if we don't put our name in the hat, we're not going to get it. So that's kind of where I'm at. And it's also just a really good visual and like it moves us forward in the sense of we're thinking about how we move forward and deal with our spaces. So that's a good thing overall. I saw Bill first and then Steve.
Thank you, Doug.
So David, within the footprint that we own out there already, does that building work for setbacks and everything?
Yes, so we've had an environmental consultant take a quick look at this. There's a 50-foot setback. There's like a 60-foot setback from the property line on the south side, and this building fits just right into that, without cutting any trees down, without wetlands, without any kind of major stuff. I think the other part of this that I'm not going to put into the grant is that if this is something we would move forward, we would want to start reaching out to the person that owned the organization that owns the land next to us to see if they would gift us another 5 to 10 acres for the goat, because this is basically being built in the goat field. So we would want to, but again, those are kind of conversations that if we get the grant and we make sense to start thinking that we could create a committee to approach them, Middlebury College, to start those discussions.
Steve-O?
Thank you.
Steve Orza?
A clarification and a question. So when Dan asked about the matching funds, you said to get the grant, we would have to raise 2 million. No, we have to raise $1 million, right?
Yeah.
To end up with 2 million.
Correct.
Okay, so that's the clarification. The question is, the nice one, the one at the top of the range, that ends up being at least $3 million if we're going to be serious about it. What about the lower options? The ones that are a little more budget?
Yep. I don't have, I'm waiting on budget numbers, to be honest with you. So I know, I think the bottom one is going to be, there's some in the top, I think you guys can see my screen. This top one, there's some significant structural beams and stuff that would cost more. And I'll explain the reason why they were doing that. And then this one is much more like a barn. So I'd say, $500,000 cheaper or so could be.
And that one looks like it's still got all the same not the same facilities, but it still has a lab, 2 classrooms, and a conference room.
Yep. Let me just, I can't see you again, but let me just explain real quick. Some of the limitations on this grant is that it's sourcing what we call mass timber. So this is, and they want to use, in modern construction. So part of this building and the reason it's clad in cedar, et cetera, is because they want to see the building built out of uh, um, forestry economy type materials. So some of the big manufactured beams, I think they're called LCDs or LDCs or something like that. That's all that's kind of why the building is, looking the way it is. The other thing that I asked them is in this circulation in the middle, there's an open area, and that's so that there could be events and shows and those kind of things for, like if the Sugar Maple Association wanted to have a little event, that kind of thing.
And could I ask a follow-up question, please?
Sure.
So if the construction materials on both the inside and outside are wood, won't that increase the maintenance costs to us because
It's
more
not all wood.
okay.
Yeah, it's just like some wood. So like the beams would be, instead of metal beams, we would use those big prefabbed um, mass timber
Yeah.
beams.
Yeah.
So yes, I think wood siding is going to always be more maintenance than metal siding, but I don't see the inside being more.
Anybody else have any other questions, Judd? Laura, we haven't heard from you guys. Bill, anyone?
I don't have any issues.
Thank you, Laura.
Tina's got her hand up.
Just a couple quick ones. I'm just curious if you know how competitive this grant is, and also, did we spend a little money to get those drawings and so forth? So how much are we into it so far? Just curious.
I've signed a contract up to $5,000 to kind of do the drawings and the engineering study. And Nicole and I talked about it and just felt like I think it's, a really good investment. Not only if we don't get the grant, it puts something on the paper that we can think through and look towards. And I think for us, I think in this kind of transition, I think it's an important, really good thing. Let me just address the competitive. So what I know is that there's $5 million available. And last year, they did not give all of the money. Like last year, they gave like 2 million. Yep. Oh,
Does-
so I think it is competitive. I think we could have a pretty good, given that VTC has closed some of their programs, we could be positioned in a good way. Judd?
No, it was answered in other questions, so you're good to go. Thank you.
So, Dan has a question.
Go ahead.
David, if we do this and commit, and God forbid something happens to our budget, can we just back away? They'll say, you don't get your money. Because I think it'd be interesting for the taxpayers to know that this is going to be a 1-for-1 match, and it'd be very useful to come up with this money. And then, the pros and cons, an elevator for 2 classrooms or 1.5 classrooms as it is, seems an expensive proposition to service these 2 little rooms, whereas building the whole building doesn't seem like it's that much more. It's not more than triple the cost of an elevator plus a kind of a patchwork classroom. So, I think it's a good investment and it looks towards the future. And, we just have to be aware that we may not get supported on that. again, we've been well supported all along, but once
Right.
we commit.
So just one clarification, this process won't commit us, like we'll submit the application, I'm gonna submit it tomorrow. There's a whole host of folks helping us, including the Alex over at Asset and Economic Development Corp. Aaron has all of his advisor committee. I've gotten like 6 support letters. And the plans that you've seen and an environmental plan. So we'll submit all that. If we get the grant, we're not committed. You know, we could say, no, thank you. We could try to do it. And as long as we're not spending any money that they're granting us, then we're not on the hook.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
So
So it seems like a low risk prop. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Bill.
That's right. David, so the way this works, I'm assuming it's a match, but we have to spend our money first anyway, right?
I'm not sure that some of those do that. Certainly is a high possibility of that. Yeah.
Okay.
And we would not, you know, and I think we would have till next year to kind of figure out our financing. When I say next year, I mean next budget season to figure out our financing. And by that time, we wouldn't have spent any money for per se, and the slate of what we look like might be clearer.
David, I have a couple questions. One is, who currently owns that property?
The property that we are proposing, we own this property. So we own the 6 acres there. And the land next to us is owned by Middlebury College under an LLC called Distribution something, Corporation or something like that. And it is just, it's a LLC that they use to own land and property and as investments.
So, and the second question, David, is there any restriction, for instance, if there's somebody out there that would like to write a big check towards this for matching available?
There's no restrictions. We are going to, what I am saying in the grant is that we are going to approach it as we're going to do some kind of bond. We're going to do a capital campaign, and we're going to look for our industry partner donations in kind. So in other words, can Canopy Timber donate the timbers for their name on the building or something, you know, or inside the building or something like that. So I think it would be an all-out capital campaign for this and an outreach along with the bond if we were to do that. And you know, Steve, I know the debt service, we can talk about that in the budget meeting, but this is a significant thing that we've got to think through because, you know, a $5 million or $4 million bond for 20 years it hits the budget every year. So.
Yeah, but we don't have to make a commitment yet.
No.
So this is a conversation we need to be aware of.
Yep.
You know what I'm going to, you know the questions I'm going to ask.
Absolutely.
But it's not something that has to happen right now. And as you said, this resolution doesn't commit us to anything yet. So.
Okay. Any other questions?
So David, what we're committing to today for a vote is to basically allow you to go on and apply for this grant. Is that correct?
Yeah, let me just show you the
I think we all got a copy of the resolution if that's.
Oh, you do? Yeah. Okay. So
I
yeah,
think we should all have that.
it gives Nicole and myself, and the reason I added myself is because I have to submit on the grant management system to submit the grant.
Okay. Any questions on that resolution from anybody? All right. Any other questions? Obviously, David's available if you need to do that in the future. I'm going to need a motion to basically commit to this resolution to allow David to go ahead and apply for this grant, because he has to do it by tomorrow.
So moved by Dan.
Second, Judd.
Thank you. You all set with that, Christine?
Yes, I basically just took the language out of the resolution at the bottom.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
All those in favor, either raise your hand or say aye, please.
Aye.
Okay. Thank you. All right. And seeing none, any other public comments regarding the agenda?
Good luck.
Yeah. Seeing none, I take a motion to adjourn.
So moved, Judd.
Seconded by Dan.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for all your work, David, and getting this all together for us. I really appreciate it.
And while we've got you all captive, please remember that tomorrow from 4:30 to 6 is the open house, and we would love to see you all there.
Terrific.
Great.
How exciting. See you there.
All right.
And we're
Good.
still meeting, policies meeting at 4, is that right, or not? Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, that is correct. So.
David, thank you. Awesome work, everybody. Wendy.
Yeah. Thank you, David. Good.
Good luck, David.
Good.